Hey, Rico Knows here. So I was asked to talk about Brock Bowers dropping out of the latest ESPN mock draft. He's dropped out of the top 10. First thing I want to say is I don't put a lot of value into mock drafts. You'll never see me do one. I do not try to guess what 32 different GMs are going to do on a particular night. I do not try to guess what 32 different personalities are going to decide to do. That is ridiculous. I just identify players in the draft that I think will make your team better. When and where you draft them, not my concern. I see it all the time. I point out countless undrafted free agents who make the final 53. Just because when I evaluate a player, I say whether or not he is better than someone on a current NFL roster. Not necessarily, this guy needs to be drafted now, this is where he's going to be drafted, all that other shit. So, with Brock Bowers falling out of the top 10, the first thing I say to myself is, what are we doing? Straight up, it's about need. I get it. It's about need. This guy is generational. This is a unicorn. This is a man who had just as many receiving stats as Marvin Harrison Jr. He's just as reliable. I promise. He's dynamite. He's better than any tight end you got on your roster, except for maybe 3 teams. I don't understand how you skip or refuse to draft Brock Bowers. You're hurting your team. And then they go and tell me who they have ahead of him, and they say they have him going 14th to the Saints. And they say they have Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy going ahead of him. I got news for you, bro. There are quarterbacks better than Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy every single year. You know what you don't find every year? Brock Bowers. This is an all-time great player. I know. It's college. How does he translate to the NFL? Blah, blah, blah. You know what those guys aren't doing? You know what Marvin Harrison Jr. is not doing? Or Keon Coleman isn't doing? Or Rome or Dunes isn't doing? They're not down blocking a defensive end. Okay? That's what they're not doing. Brock Bowers is the guy. And he's been for a long time. You can talk about all the great defensive players Georgia had, and they drafted them all early and everything. There's been one guy on Georgia for 3 years now that when everybody looks, you just go, well, that guy makes a lot of sense. Well, that's the unicorn. You can't stop that. Brock Bowers is the reason Stetson Bennett got drafted. Brock Bowers is the reason they won 2 back-to-back national titles. That guy right there. And while they hype up Ladd McConkey, he's shooting up draft boards. The one guy that should be shooting up draft boards is Brock Bowers. Keeping it real. And you guys, if you watch me on TikTok and you've seen my podcast, I don't go around gassing up every Alabama or Georgia player. I don't give a shit if you played in the SEC, personally. I don't. I don't put any value into it. I really don't. I just look at players, assess their talent level. I look at their metrics. I look at what they're doing. How productive are they? How reliable are they? Are they clutch? Do you got that clutch gene? Are you Kobe in the moment? Or do you fold? Or are you James Harden? I don't know. But I can tell you right now, Brock Bowers is him. As the kids would say, he is him. He is Himothy. I love everything about Brock Bowers. If I was an NFL team, I don't know where I'd be drafting, but I can't think of too many players, most definitely not 13 other players that I would draft ahead of Brock Bowers. No way in hell. You're being, it's like they're thoroughly impressed with some workouts. What are we going to do? We're going to see a guy at the combine make you forget about the last 3 years and let him shoot up the board as well because he worked out really well? It's ridiculous. Brock Bowers should not be dropping in the first round. Teams are going to regret it. I keep hearing, like, Jaden Daniels shot up. He just passed, who is it? He just passed the quarterback. Jaden Daniels number 2 on boards now. They say, oh, yeah, he's better than May now. He's better than, what? Okay. I got you. Is he better than Brock Bowers? Tripping, bro. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Hey, go ahead and let me know in the comments where you would draft Brock Bowers. Let me know of how many teams don't need Brock Bowers. Give me all 3 of them. Tripping.